Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm too tired to be doing this. But here I am. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about being obsessed with growing your YouTube channel. And maybe it's easier for people to get through a 30-minute video or hour-long video if they see the person talking. You know, you get all of the physical mannerisms instead of just listening to a voice on a screen. So I don't know how long this video will be. I'm just talking. I might not even post it. Could be 5 minutes, could be an hour. So I've got a bunch of thoughts running through my head, and sometimes my mind gets, your mind gets flooded with thoughts, and then you're like, what do I say first? And before you start to say that thing, your mind has like another thought, and it all goes too fast, so you think faster than you can speak and get it out. And then the next thing you know, you're not a smooth talker, you're stuttering all the time, and it's almost like a speech impediment, because it's like, man, that guy can't talk clearly, he can't talk smoothly. That's a skill that I would love to have. I'd love to be able to just like talk smoothly, be more mindful when I speak, to try to slow my pace and present my speech and my words and my ideas in a more smooth manner. But yeah, I'm hit with that choppy speech, and hey, that's real, right? That's fine. I'm not going to try and work too hard on it. So yeah, I'm getting hit with a bunch of thoughts, and I've thought about this for probably about 20 minutes now, and I thought, yeah, I'm gonna maybe I'll record this and get over some of this. And sorry that I'm so tired. I shouldn't be doing this right now, but I am. I'll start by saying this. I'm using a relatively cheap camcorder. I don't have any good lighting. So I run a small YouTube channel. I'm using arguably poor video quality, arguably poor audio quality here, poor lighting. I mean, I used the camera settings just to artificially bump up my lighting as much as I could. I probably look like a ghost, but at least the shadows aren't too harsh. And you know what? This quality right here is probably, I think it's safe to say that it's probably better than the average person's video if they would have made one in 2009. And it worked just fine. But there's so much advice and opinions nowadays that say, if you're going to grow a YouTube channel, you need, good lighting, you need to buy the ring light, all these things. And it becomes like a science that it gets so wild that people feel like they can't even start their YouTube channel unless they have all this perfect stuff. And it's fine to utilize that stuff, but right off the bat, first of all, I would encourage people to don't let that stop you, because you can always find something to do better, and then you may never start. You get that like perfectionist paralysis. You want everything to be perfect, and then you get paralyzed and you never start anything. So that could be a problem. Look at way back in the first televised presidential debates. They're on YouTube. They're online. You've got black and white cameras, grainy footage, black and white footage, grainy footage, even worse audio quality than this. Just all around, that was state of the art back then when they recorded those presidential debates. So, and it conveyed, I'd say for the most part at least, it conveyed what we needed it to convey. And so the camera I've got is perfectly fine for what I want to do, Yeah, it'd be great to have a professional lighting and stuff like that, but you don't need it. I just saw a new video from PewDiePie. The guy's got millions of subscribers, possibly hundreds of millions. Um, he gets millions of views on his videos that he uploads. There's people. He's famous, and he just came out with a video. He's like an extreme minimalist now. He got rid of his camera. I mean, I believe him when he says it. I don't think he's joking, but yeah, he got rid of. It's like he says he got rid of his camera. He got rid of his professional lighting. He's like, natural sunlight is lighting. Why is no one talking about that? And I don't have natural sunlight right now. It's dark out. I just have my ceiling light, and like I said, I artificially bumped the lighting on the camera, and that's good enough for me. I don't care. But yeah, you have this guy who's totally famous, and you may say, okay, maybe he wouldn't have gotten famous if he stuck with that quality, maybe, but really, who cares? I think he started out his YouTube channel with pretty cheap quality. I feel like I've seen that. I think it was his personality, maybe that his personality and his persistence, and then being in the right time. I'd say that was what got him famous, and good for him. But I think he's staying true to himself, and I think more of us need to do that. I could get no views on this video, and I could get 1,000 views in this video, and I could get 1,000,000 views in this video or more. I could get no views on this video, and I'm totally fine. It doesn't bother me. I'm making things because I want to make them. I want it to be where I have like a vault. You go into that vault, and there's the YouTube channel. It's got all the stuff we did, and that's good enough for me. I'm happy with that. The views and subscribers and stuff like that's all a great after effect. That'll come if you're true to yourself, and luck plays a factor, but if you're true to yourself, I think that's when it'll come to you if you're looking for building a community and all that stuff. If you convey your ideas well, that helps. But I want to hit a point where, okay, so there's all these YouTube gurus, and they talk about how to maximize your views and how to get more subscribers, how to monetize your YouTube channel and be famous and make money. So many people start a YouTube channel and they want to be famous. I want to play video games and have people watch it and make a living off of it. And that's fine. More power to you. I hope it works out. But it certainly can. But I think it gets to a point where people become obsessed with growing their YouTube channel. I see videos of guys talking about, one of their videos blew up out of nowhere. They had like tens of thousands of views, and they're watching it, and they said they couldn't sleep. When they wake up, the first thing they do is get their phone, and they're like, oh my gosh, 10 more views, or 1,000 more views. And they're saying like, man, it's like a disease. Stop it. Don't let that overcome you. Turn off the notifications. They would say that, Turn off the notifications. Check it once a day, and reply to comments then. But it can overtake you. Some of it is greed. It's selfishness. That's certainly there's a pit, and it's like a bottomless pit, and if you're not careful, you can fall into that. You want to be idolized. You want all the money. You want the nice things in life. Well, you might think the nice things are material things that you can buy, but those are just so shallow. They don't buy happiness. And look at you see famous people who have it all. Like PewDiePie. What's he doing now? He's not, I don't know what he's driving, but I don't think he's shoot, he's a minimalist. You know, he's saying he's a minimalist now. He's getting rid of this nice stuff. It's not about the nice things. That's not what brings happiness. You know, Jesus is what brings happiness, true happiness. But look at Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey. You know, he had it all. Most people, a lot of people would say he had it all. He was famous. I think he got like a Oscar, you know, Grammy Award, whatever. And he said he thought that would make him happier, and it didn't. He just woke up the next morning and wanted a second one. And then he got a second one, and then he wanted a third one. You know, it's just something like that. There's this bottomless pit that you can just become addicted to, and it ruins your content. Look at Reddit forums with communities of people that get together, like small YouTubers. You know, there's like Reddit, YouTube, I don't know, Reddit Let's Play. It's this community where people are like, okay, you record a video of you playing a game, and you kind of just want to share your journey. You know, hey, let's play this game together, and then people like that. You know, that can be a great thing. Like, you could have somebody who, say they're going through a real hard time in life, and they're lonely, they're depressed, whatever, and they find a video of someone playing a game that with their favorite childhood game. You know, maybe that video, they watch that video and then they start to connect with the person playing the game, and then it's like they get to a point where they're like, okay, I feel like this person's my friend. I never even met him, but you know, the personality comes through the screen, and the nostalgia of the game, you know, they grew up with it. Maybe you could bring that person some happiness. Maybe not a deep sense of happiness, but maybe it can bring them a little bit of happiness to get them through the week, you know? And so even something as unimportant as playing a game and posting it online can really help people. But I don't want to romanticize it, you know. I wouldn't say people are heroes for playing video games, generally speaking, you know. It can be important, but at the end of the day, you're playing a video game, right? It's not that important. But you go to that forum, that Reddit community, that subreddit, Reddit Let's Play, and it's like the general consensus has become, or always has been, maybe that's the point of the forum. I think the point of the subreddit is probably to master the craft of making these videos, you know, having high quality, whatever. And that's great. You know, you have people who have done it longer time, and they're, you know, they can share their knowledge and wisdom on how to be entertaining when you commentate, and there's a science to it. I love that stuff. That's great. But the community has become, or always has been, or maybe it's meant to be, whatever, the community is overcome with, the last time I checked, and every time I've checked, with people going, how do I grow my YouTube channel? How do I become famous from YouTube? How do I, you know... And on one hand, there's a level where it's like, it's good, you know, you want to do better with your videos. You want to become more smooth and seamless with your videos. You want to be funny. You want to be naturally funny and stuff like that. But there's definitely a point where you can try too hard. And yeah, with that subreddit, in my experience, it's to a point where it's just the general assumption that everybody that the point is to just, it seems like the general consensus is, hey, we all want to like get to 1 million viewers. You might see some people who are like, hey, I don't need viewers, you know, I'm doing this because I enjoy it. Congratulations to those people. But so much of it is just, how do I get views? How do I get views? How do I get more views? And I know I'm flipping back and forth. This is just kind of a rant, kind of a discussion, just me wanting to get some things off my chest. I think there's a lot of value that could be hidden in what I say. So much of it is this toxic, it's just toxic. I mean, it gets to the point where I don't need to grow my YouTube channel. I'm happy making what I make, putting it out there, and then it's like, hey, if someone finds it one day, awesome, great. That's a great side effect, you know? I'd love to have a community of people, but that's the after effect. It's not needed. But yeah, someone like me coming up on that forum and looking at it and reading comments, just general comments of people saying, if you're going to have a gaming YouTube channel, you have to do this. Or if you want to grow your YouTube channel, you have to do that. You have to have, you know, YouTube thumbnail screenshots with your face in it, making a freaking crazy face so people click it. You know, you need borderline clickbait titles. You know, just people say this stuff. They say this stuff. In order to grow your channel, you need this, and it's like, that's not true. You can have a YouTube channel with the most boring content. I know boring isn't a good example because that's subjective what boring is, but you could have a video with objectively poor camera quality, grainy footage, cheap audio quality, just commentary that's not interesting. You could have, you know, you could be playing an oversaturated game like Minecraft, game that's been covered, you know, probably 1 billion times. You could keep your YouTube thumbnail, the pictures, you keep them, every single one of them could be black, just blacked out, one color, black. And all your titles can be random things, maybe meaningless, maybe just a number. Every title could be the same. And you could still get YouTube famous from doing that. The battery's dying on the camera, so I'm going to switch out the camera battery real quick and I'll continue. Okay, lighting might be a little bit different because I had to do that lighting trick again and it probably might have changed it a little bit, but that's okay. Yeah, so it gets to a point where people start saying things and they become obsessed and they get locked into this one idea that you have to do this. You have to, I'm going to use like the face example. You use like an excited face, like oh my gosh, or a shocked face, and people click it, you know, and maybe generally people do click that kind of stuff more. But when you're to a point where you have a YouTube channel and every single one of your videos is like a face like that, right? you put your face on there all shocked to click, to get clicks, to get views. At what point are you not being true to yourself anymore? I want you to ask yourself that, you know, because let's say attracting viewers was not a thing at all. Let's just say anyone who posted their videos on YouTube just automatically had got 1 million genuine views each, you know, and you didn't have to do anything for it. So you didn't have to do anything to try to attract people. If that was the case, would you be posting, would all of your videos have your face on it, doing a silly face, excited face, you know, to get clicks? Maybe you do it once or twice because you think it's funny or something, you know, but would you do that for every single one of your videos? I wouldn't, and I don't. I do what I want to do. I stay true to myself with my videos. And there's so many angles you could look at this from, you know. It's okay if you want to build your channel for views. It's okay if you want to do it so you can make money off of it. That's okay. But don't get sucked into not staying true to yourself. Maybe you want to do that. Maybe you want to just suffer through and make insufferable content, something I would call insufferable, fake stuff that you're just doing clickbait stuff just to get famous, and then maybe, you know, once you have a following, then you can, now that you tricked the algorithm and you became, you know, famous, now you can be real. You know, maybe you want to do that. But I will not be making content that is not true to me. And this is how you redefine the standard, you know, of what's going on. You know, it's like, hey, this guy's over here making real stuff, what he wants to make, and he still got popular off of that. You know, you become kind of a figure that people can look to and say, hey, this guy did it, doing normal stuff. Maybe I don't have to do all those stupid tricks, you know. And I don't mean to attack people who want to grow their YouTube channels. That's great, that's fine. And if you want to use good thumbnails and good titles and be interesting and all that stuff, do it. Good for you. Good for you. But I see some of you who are working extra hard and making some questionable choices for your YouTube channel. Very artificial. You're trying very hard to grow your channel, and you're struggling, and you're not having enjoyment out of it. You're not enjoying it because you wake up every morning and see that you didn't get any more views, and then you get sad. You know, I saw somebody comment something saying, you know, I've got a small YouTube channel, and you know, I've got like 15 views, whatever. And they said, it used to make me sad, but then I realized, I imagined 15 people in my room watching me play the game, or whatever it was, you know. I imagined 15 people in the room watching the video with me, the video that I made. And he's like, it made it, I realized my room can't even fit 15 people. And so it made him happy, where he realized, he shifted his perspective, where he realized, wow, you know what, 15 is a lot of people, you know. Yeah, a lot of you are out there obsessing over, and it's taking the joy out of it for you, you know. And I just want to be a voice, to get my voice out there, to say, you know, you don't have to do all that. You don't have to do all that. Why not just make true content that you like? You know, that's like old school. That's how people talk about, oh, I wish YouTube was like in the old days, you know, people just posted what they wanted. They're more genuine that way. I'm not being fake, you know, and people can tell when you're fake too. You know, oh, when I speak, I have to speak with my inflection has to be just right, and I gotta bounce up and down with my vocals, you know, so people aren't bored, so I'm not speaking in a monotone voice, you know, and then it becomes forced, and then you just sound fake, and I don't want to watch your video. You know? And don't get me wrong, like, there's great advice out there from those YouTube gurus who talk about how to grow your channel. And it's true, yeah, you can be more interesting when you speak, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to improve yourself. But if you're forcing it too hard, it becomes artificial, and it hurts you, in a way at least. But yeah, there's a point where that's not, it's just hurting you. Why do it? I know I'm kind of scrambled minded right now. I'm going everywhere with my thoughts, and my batteries keep dying so quick. I don't know why they're dying so quick. So I've only got like another 2 minutes here. But look, you get a famous person like Mr. Beast. If he recorded a video of him just stepping out of his car and kind of getting stuck in his seatbelt, for example, and then like struggling with the seatbelt for a second and being like, oh shoot, I can't get it, you know. Just something like that. He could make like one little joke about it too. People, like, he'd have like maybe 100,000 people commenting, oh my gosh, he's so funny, you know, oh, it's so relatable, what a relatable guy, and they would just idolize him. And people want that. And maybe some people don't want that, you know, they just want a little bit. You know, there's a lot of people who work hard on their videos, and they see these famous people, and they see them get appreciated for the stupidest little things. And they're just like, maybe some people are just like, I just want a little bit of that. I just want a little bit of appreciation for my hard work. And that's fine, that's fair. You know, it's okay to want. But when it gets to a point where you're just You're employing all of these artificial tactics because you got obsessed with growing your channel instead of actually enjoying your channel. You failed, in my mind. You failed, YouTube. Because winning is not getting 1 million views. Winning is expressing yourself, entertaining yourself. Isn't that what YouTube is? Entertain yourself. Why don't you entertain yourself instead of only being entertained when you have 1 million people talking about you? I guess that's it.